Okay, so can you actually make money as a writer? Can you still actually make money in today's modern society as a writer? I've been exploring this topic and I've concluded that the answer is yes and no. Yes, if you have a game plan, because that worked for me, and no, if you are lazy. Jen Psalms, let's go. Okay guys, so welcome to my channel, Jan Psalms, where we explore all things to do with writing, inspiration and life. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking the button below, and do comment and like this video. It really helps me with trying to get traction and to grow my channel. Thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed already. And yeah, let's get started with today's topic. So first of all, Happy New Year. I know it's February and you're like, why is she still saying this? But it's my first actual sit down of the year, and I kind of realized that I haven't actually really sat down and spoken with you guys properly this year in one of these sit down videos that I normally do, where I give you guys some writing and inspiration tips and kind of share my journey as well. As you may or may not know, I am a copywriter in South Africa, and I'm currently working for a financial brand for a bank in the country, but I'm also an aspiring author, and I'm busy working on my African fantasy trilogy novel series that I started working on about in 2019, 2020, and I've written 2 books so far. The first book is around 80,000 words, the second book is about 60,000 words, and now I'm busy with the 3rd book. So once I've finished all 3 books, I'm planning to publish. So guys, wish me luck on my journey to becoming an author and hopefully getting my story told on a bigger platform. So Netflix, call me. But for now, I am just in the process of writing. On this channel, I do give like writing tips, and I share my journey on how I became a copywriter in South Africa, and now I make a living off of being a writer, you guys. And I want to help you guys if you're struggling to figure out a career path, or you just want some tips, advice, or you're looking for something fresh to kind of learn more about. My channel helps you with that. I give writing tips, I give copywriting tips, and I share my life through vlogs and inspirational content as well. So like I said in my intro, let's get started. For today's topic, I'm going to be exploring, can you really make a living off of being a writer? This is something that I've always struggled with for a while. When I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, I thought that I had to go the traditional routes, so either like the scientific route or the mathematical route, or the accounting route, or the mechanical engineering route, etc, etc, etc. The safe routes that guarantee you a job when you graduate from college. But I realized that I'm more of a language person. I love language, I love literature, I love storytelling, and I love words. And so there weren't really a lot of career options for me to choose, except the creative space and being a writer. And so I've been trying to figure out, can you really make a living off of being a writer? And I concluded that you can if you have a game plan. And just using my life as an example, I realized that it's actually possible, because I'm a living testimony of it. And this is how I did it. So tip number 1. Tip number 1, if you want to make a living off of being a writer, is to figure out what kind of writer you want to be. This is the most important one, guys. So do you want to be a fiction writer? Do you want to be a poet? Do you want to be a copywriter? Do you want to go into journalism? There are so many career paths, each with their own risks and each with their own benefits and consequences. So of course, poetry, I'd like to call it a beautiful dying art. If you want to make a living off of being a poet, you really need to know what you are doing, you guys, especially in this modern age where people have a very short attention span, first of all, and secondly, they don't invest in poetry. Would people want to come and see you perform your poetry, recite your poetry? Would people want to read your poetry? Would people be able to share it, giving you the credit for your work? There's a lot to consider, so I wouldn't advise going the poetry route if you are trying to actually make a living off of being a writer. So what I found to be the safer option is obviously the copywriting route. That's why I got into it, because I feel like it's more relevant for modern society. You work with existing brands, you can sell your words to brands, and you can actually get started very quickly. I did do a video on how to become a copywriter. I will link that below if you guys are interested in that. Another route is obviously the fictional route. So do you want to be an author? But I always find that with this route, it's also risky, because you really have to plan your story out properly, find the right team of publishers and literary agents to work with, and do your research, find out what genre you're trying to write. It's a lot and it is quite risky. But yeah, guys, that is my first tip. Find out what type of writing you actually want to get into. My second tip, if you really want to make a living off of being a writer, is learn how to negotiate and market yourself. So writing is all about finding clients, right? And in this day and age, it's all about finding brands to work for and with. So do your research, learn how to negotiate your worth. As copywriters, we usually charge per word or per hour, but if you do go into a company, they obviously give you a wage based on the hours that you work, a salary based on the hours that you work and the experience that you have, the qualifications that you have, etc. But that is a very important thing to learn how to do. Negotiate your worth, market yourself, and find the opportunities. That is the second tip. The third tip is to just be patient and perfect your craft. I would consider this to be probably the most important one. You have to be patient, and while you are still looking for actual brands to work with or ideas or content to write, perfect your craft by actually practicing the art of writing. Read books, write for fun, write for passion projects, write opinion pieces, whatever it is. Just make sure that you keep your writing alive. The fourth work is, do other work while you're still waiting for writing work that will actually pay you. The reason why I say this is because when you're still starting out, you might be on a freelance basis. So you might have a bit more hours. So while you have some spare time, do some spare work on the side to kind of get that income rolling in. And then once you can rely on your writing, you can leave that spare job behind and focus on your clients or the brands that you're working for or the company that's hired you, etc. Because it is quite hard to get started and find lucrative writing work. So in the meantime, it would be best to do other work in other fields outside of writing while you're still waiting for your big opportunity to prove yourself. And then guys, lastly, the last tip number 5, if you really want to make a living as a writer, it's very simple. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up and keep writing. The reason I say this is because it's quite often writers give up, right? Because they're not finding the right brands to work with, they're not finding clients, they're getting paid too little, or they can't finish their book, or the idea isn't coming together well for the story that they're trying to tell. They're not booking work as poets, they're not booking performances, etc. Whatever it is, guys, don't give up. Things happen over time and in time when the opportunity avails itself. But while the opportunity is not there, what's best to do is to just don't give up and keep writing. You know, enjoy yourself. It's all about enjoying yourself so that you can continue to do it in the long run. If you don't enjoy writing, you can't actually be a writer, and that goes for any job, right? You have to actually enjoy what you're doing. So yeah, those have been my 5 tips. I hope that you guys found this helpful. I kept it nice and short. Let me know in the comments below what sort of writing content you guys would like from me this year. Are you guys enjoying the vlogs? Do you want me to do a house tour? This is my space. I find that it's really an inspiring space. I'm surrounding myself with lots of nature, things that I love. I feel like if you guys wanted, comment down below, like, subscribe, and when I reach 100 subscribers, I will do a home tour video of my apartment and kind of show you guys how I add little pieces of inspiration here and there to keep my creativity alive and to keep my writing life inspired. But for now, I'm out. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Jan Storms. Bye.